All right, so we need to touch on supplements and nutrition for recovery. Functional recovery, for that matter, is getting somebody back to sport by making sure we are optimizing the nutrient uptake during the phase of rehabilitation. Injuries are an inevitable part of athletic exertion, and they occur too frequently for athletes, but even people who go to the gym. And because strength training and CrossFit boxes have grown and people are getting more into training, we need to understand uh, things like inflammation, catabolism, and also get a understanding of nutritional strategies to limit the sources of inflammation and catabolism, and make an optimal return to sport and training. Nutrition plays a really important role in the training and rehabilitation process. A well nourished athlete um, can recover faster and have better repair of damaged body structures. But it isn't it isn't going to be unfair to say that the importance of diet and supplements during rehabilitation is very, very downplayed. Initial strategies to get the athlete or an individual back to training should start off with stable nutritional habits and encourage them to take adequate micronutrients and macronutrients to support the body with the elements that are necessary for repair and rebuilding. Again, we have to not look at supplements from the bad eye. We have to appreciate what they do for the body. So if we were to go stage by stage to support the healing process by nutrient rich foods and maintenance of the body's acid and alkaline balance, um, everything adds up. Excessive energy intake during the phase of early injury would lead to increase in body fat and will have a negative impact on the athlete's physical condition, because energy balance, simply because the energy expenditure is reduced due to reduced training load, requiring calorie adjustments to preserve the athlete's or the trainee's body and fitness. Therefore, carbohydrate intake before and after training should be adjusted according to the basal metabolic rate, which could be multiplied by the activity factor. Special emphasis could be placed on essential and branched chain amino acids, which are definitely the key factors in protein synthesis. Both essential and branched chain amino acids are precursors of high quality proteins and can be found in high concentrations in your whey supplements, dairy, and meats, being a fundamental element for recovery. Energy balance and macronutrient supply depends entirely on the type of injury. So, the athlete and their physical effort during rehabilitation is a factor. The energy of herbs, spices, and vegetables rich in polyphenols have to be placed a supreme emphasis on, because they are your source of anti inflammatory properties. And thereby, you favor a higher nutrient density. And yes, of course, more veggies can also help you lower energy intake, because you need to compensate for the reduced activity and higher nutrient requirement for repair. Things like bone broth and homemade soups with a whole bunch of vegetables, basically forming the base from a wide range of micronutrients, help in the repair process, thereby lowering inflammation. We could touch on acid base balance. Acid base balance of the body is strictly controlled to ensure the maintenance of an optimal enzyme and function environment. This environment can be altered by a mismatch in consumption between, say, acid forming foods, that would be something like meat and grains, and then something like your alkaline forming foods, which is your fruits and vegetables. Now, this is entirely individual to individual. We really cannot just say that this is the formula and this is going to apply for every other individual out there. If you like a Mediterranean platter and it makes you feel good, it because it's so full of nutrients and it doesn't cause you, any bloating as such, because your body is giving you a sign, you're good to go. Certain times, if you feel a certain sense of discomfort, you could separate your grains from your alkaline foods, rather, fruits and vegetables, because we also have to optimize protein synthesis and rehabilitation. Therefore, the intake of vegetables is essential for recovery, hormone production, as well as acid alkaline base. Now, inflammation is a necessary response to disease and injury. So, when we hear the word inflammation, let's not look at it like it's the bad guy. It helps direct nutrients and immune factors to the affected area, which facilitates repair. So, in this process, in this inflammatory process, your body's kind of trying to repair. So, it is just a response that your body will give you in the face of injury or in the face of a disease. The acute period of inflammation lasts about 72 hours for soft tissue injuries and 14 to 21 days for bone injuries. It is the normal, process that your body will will kind of project you with. This phase requires an intake with an adequate balance of omega 3s and omega 6 essential fatty acids, as well as micronutrients that provide the body with the precursors to regulate inflammation, which is your anti inflammatory foods. The inflammatory response increases the breakdown of body stores, which means that, yes, there will be a certain catabolism because there is a sacrifice of muscle tissue to provide fuel. And hence, you have to optimize nutrients. You can't just kind of be like, oh, I'm not training, so to heck with the supplements or to heck with my protein intake. That's not the case. It is crucial and critical for you to provide your body with the energy and nutrients to avoid the risk that can result in poorly controlled inflammation. And we do not want to be catabolic. Definitely not if sport is an agenda. Addressing deficiencies. Now, not a lot of people get periodically checked, but if you are definitely not scheduling your periodical checkups, this is very important for you to analyze. You have to schedule your blood tests. Deficiencies in the face of injuries have to be addressed a little more deeply. If the blood tests reveal micronutrient deficiencies, that gives you another reason to have a balanced nutritional complex of vitamins, minerals, and these have to be taken on a daily basis. So, one more thing is we have to exercise caution with mega doses of certain anti inflammatory nutrients that may limit the inflammatory response. For example, concentrated flavonoid extract, they do scavenge free radicals by exerting an antioxidant effect, but they can interfere with cell signaling to control the inflammatory response. So you get it, we do sort of need it and not at the same time. Intake of brightly colored foods such as berries and flavonoid rich green tea, you could consider it as a staple rather, because it's not high doses of anti-inflammatory nutrients. It's just about right for you. General spices and herbs and vegetables with more brightness will also be a good option. They are rich in antioxidants. Yeah. So we could also have shakes. We could call them regeneration shakes. being an excellent way to ingest a whole bunch of nutrients, high value nutrients, which are needed for regeneration and repair. So it is important for us to understand the value of each nutrient in the healing process and blend them in a way that is palatable and easy to digest. Like you could throw in some fruits which you like, some herbs, some things like cinnamon, and a pinch of caffeine, like your coffee, or some matcha, or some cardamom or vanilla extract or cocoa powder, which can give you a little taste, along with making it easy and palatable for you to take in these regeneration shakes. Certain people do not handle whey really well. Certain people can also not take a whole bunch of nutrients together. They could space it out. But for people who can get it down, you could just get a little creative with your nutrient formation in the shake. For people who do have GI discomfort, which is gastrointestinal discomfort, could consume the shake for an extended period of time with gradual sipping. The example of what could go in a regeneration shake would be BCAAs, 5 grams, and EAAs, rather, essential amino acids, again, 5 grams, creatine monohydrate, 5 grams, about 1 to 2 grams of nutrients like glycine, glutamine, arginine. If you are not consuming arginine and glutamine separately and you get access to OAKG, which is ornithine alpha ketoglutarate, this is a combination of ornithine and alpha ketoglutarate, ornithine being a derivative from arginine, and alpha ketoglutarate being a derivative of glutamine. Or make it simple, you could very well do glutamine and arginine, citrulline and HMB and leucine. These are just things that if you haven't experimented with, you could go one by one on them, because ingesting a whole bunch of new ingredients to your body, sometimes the body just wants a little time to adapt itself to it. So you could start slow, do things separately, but if you've been on these supplements time to time, your body knows how to break it down. And like I said, you could do some cranberry extract or manuka honey and cocoa bean, cocoa powder, and you're good to go. So we really have to understand that injuries do happen. There is no running away from them. Even if you are doing high intensity training for a good 1 year, there will be that freak day where suddenly you just kind of twist the knee and you land yourself with a soft tissue injury. You have to take injuries head on, have the humility, but do not sort of let it affect you mentally way more than it could. It definitely will affect you, take you down, because your training is compromised, your activity levels go down, you're not feeling all that great about yourself. Sometimes you gain weight from, not sometimes, rather, most of the time you tend to gain weight from an injury. But you just have to understand that they're a part of anybody's life. You just have to take them head on, be smart about it, be very optimistic, and also optimize at the same time your rehabilitation as well as your nutrient and supplement intake. So if you have upper body injury, your lower body is good to go. If you have an upper body injury, usually it's one-sided, you could train the other side. You could do a lot of stability and mobility work. You could do things which will help you gain your range of motion. You could most certainly do your cardio. But if you have lower body injuries, there will be a period where you need to rest it out. But it's not a lot, you know. It's not, usually people kind of let it get to them, and they push the phase of getting back to training for a little too long. That could be counterproductive because you will be compromising your strength gains. If you have an injury which involves two ligaments, there are still so many things you could do with bands, with machines. You just have to mind your range of motion. You just have to mind how much load you are moving. So, yes, be positive in the face of injury as well. Don't let it get you to the point where you feeling like it's the end. It's not. It's absolutely not. You're just going to get over it. It's just a matter of time. On that note, let's sign off.